Hey everyone, hope this finds you well. Another warm welcome. This week we are going to be exploring a really wonderful question that's coming from one of our lovely subscribers, a part of our beautiful community here on YouTube. And I was asked if I could do a video about ancestral healing. And I sat there and I thought about that, and I thought, actually, without a doubt, this is something that comes up within my consultations at times. It's something that's come up within my work, and it's also something that has come up within my own experience in a very powerful way. And it's not by chance that as I look over my shoulder here in the camera feed, that beautiful portrait is sitting behind me up over my right shoulder. Okay, that is not by chance, that is by design. And I just sat down, I've just got back from the bothy, been kind of working away there, working as well very gently with the Conscious Kind Food Project. More about that in the weeks and months to come. But I just sat down, and as I've looked, there she is sitting over my shoulder, and that is very, very relevant to this video. So ancestral healing, I'm going to share with you an experience. I'm going to share with you a dream. I'm going to then share with you some ways that you can tangibly connect to these ideas, to these concepts, and how you can begin to unravel them. So going back around about, I think it's probably maybe 2.5 years, maybe we're getting on 2.5 years ago. We'd be getting on for about 3 years come October. And around that time I had a dream, and that dream has stuck with me so clearly, very, very powerfully so. And within my dream, I was walking along a road, and it was a very long track, and it was a very straight track. And as I was walking along this road, I could see there in the horizon there was the sea and there was hills. And I don't know how I knew, but I knew very, very clearly, I knew that I was in Ireland, and I was walking along this trackway, this roadway, and there were people coming towards me. And within my dream, I knew that these were my mum's people. I knew that this was people on my mum's bloodline, and they were walking towards me. Some of them smiled, many of them walked past me. And as we got further along the path, as I got further along that trackway, along that roadway, the further I got, the more I felt as if I was going back in time. People's clothing changed, the way they were dressing changed, everything about them was going back in time. And everything was kind of happening at a sense of speed. But I felt like I was moving along slowly, yet everything that was coming towards me was moving at speed, as if it was happening fast. So there was this sense of kind of time, okay, really, really important. And as I moved further along, the clothing and everything about these people changed. And I could feel myself going way back, way back, way back, way back in time. And then suddenly there was this pause. And I've had this within a few dreams within the last couple of years, where day turns to night, night turns to day, the seasons change. It was in my recent video, Dreams, Vision and Giveaway, where the sky changed from day to night, from spring to summer to autumn to winter to spring to summer. So there's this whole sense of cycles and time and seasons. Within this dream, suddenly it was nighttime, and I stepped sideways off this trackway, and I was in this copse of trees, and it was almost as if I was observing. And I was observing this lady who was standing there, and I can really strongly see the image. This lady was standing there with a robe, and she was looking up at the night sky. She was holding what I knew to be a black form staff very, very tightly. She had her robe up, and she was whispering prayers of gratitude and thanks to the innate. And there was this real sense of peace, this real sense of stillness, this real sense of wisdom with her. And in the dream, and for the days to come, when I woke up, I felt as if I had met one of my ancestors. I felt I had met someone that was a part of me, and I was a part of her. And I do believe, and I'm going to see if we can show you, I do believe it's her. My awareness to this has changed over time. When I first connected with this energy, this guide, and this beautiful, incredible psychic artist that done a portrait. Those of you that are on Instagram and Facebook, if you search for Tribal Angel, you'll pick up her work. Is incredible. But when I first connected with her, I could feel her around me before the portrait was done. I asked, there we are, that's better. I asked, who are you? What are you about? And I've shared this before in some of my videos. Her reply was, who are you and what are you about? Answering a question with a question, and there's so much of that happening right now. There's so much of that going on right now. And I absolutely believe that image, that one I just showed you, that is her. That is my ancestor. It's come through as a guide. And this, okay, is an aspect of her, and it's going to really make sense. So connected with this lady in this copse of trees, holding this black form staff, looking up at the night sky, whispering prayers of gratitude and prayers of thanks. And I know that she lived in a stone dwelling on the fringe of her community. But I also believe that there was either a famine or an illness or a disease, and I believe she was called upon to ask for healing and to help the village and the community. And this disease, this illness ripped through the community, ripped through the society, and she wasn't able to heal this society, this community. She wasn't able to help. She helped in ways she could, but she couldn't stop it. And I also feel that she was then blamed and persecuted for it, and she was branded as a witch. I absolutely know she was persecuted for her beliefs, her practice, her outlook of life, and she was absolutely persecuted and punished for it. She was branded a witch, and I could really, really feel that. And it wasn't then long after that, and it might have been only weeks, and it is within one of my other videos as well, Mark of the Witch, search it, Well, I had this experience of this lady coming for a consultation, and we'd sat, and there was something otherworldly by this lady. I mean, this lady was completely otherworldly, and I knew that her ancestry, her bloodline, had come from a line of wise women, a hedge mage, just as this my ancestor I feel was in rural Ireland. This lady's ancestry come from a line of hedge mages. There was a stone dwelling also within a copse of trees, again on the fringe, and behind this stone dwelling was a little pathway that led to a graveyard of her ancestors, and I absolutely knew she had come from a line of wise women, a line of witches, if you like, and I could sense it and feel it, and I explained this to her, and I said, "You are of this blood, you are of this ilk." And she looked at me, but she looked right into me. This is a physical person sitting with me within a consultation. She walked over to me very gently, placed her hand on my heart, and said, "Know when you have been marked by a witch." And I was like, my mind was racing. I was like, "Oh my God, what has she just done?" But yeah, I felt a real kind of love and a real goodness and a real kind of grace from her. And when she had left, I sat and I began to research it, and what I realised was a mark of a witch. When you be marked by a witch, what it is the unlocking of your ancestral heritage, your ancestral power, your ancestral roots. It's like it's unlocked, it's risen, it's awakened within you. And the dream and this experience all overlapped at the same time completely. And if I look at where I am now with the work that I'm doing, even the work that I'm doing with the Boffy and the Conscious Kind Food Project, it's all about kind of overlapping and integrating a relationship with the land around you, a relationship with growing food and the energetics of that relationship between, sowing seed on a full moon because the germination rate is increased, because the moisture is pulled up by the gravity. These are things our ancestors have known for such a long time. When you fill up that watering can and you gently bless that water, Dr. Amuto has put water molecule particles under a really powerful microscope, and it's shown that when you focus goodness and grace, those water particles, molecules, the shapes are absolutely beautiful, like a snowflake, and they're infused with an energetic pattern that then affects that seed, that then affects that plant, that then affects that food. And for those people that think that this is just woo-woo, science is proving it. So for me, it's like consciously knitting together all these threads that have come from before me, that have come through my generational line, And if we look at the ancestral aspect of that, on my dad's side, I come from another rich heritage of line of woodsmen, and also a line of incredible men and women, but incredible men that have grown, their own food for generation. On my mum's side, incredible women that have held, I believe, so much kind of power, and I can relate that. My mum is not physically with us, but often I do sense her, and people around me have picked up on her, and I look at her life, and it wasn't always easy for her, and I believe that's because she was highly, highly, highly sensitive, and she was greatly tuned in. She was massively empathic, which I think was a struggle for her. And I think that in this life I've been given the opportunity to bring all that together, which is the ancestral healing aspect, to bring it all together, to bring it all into wholeness. This image, this incredible psychic artist, tribal angel, done, and she said to me that she the original one I showed you on the wall there, with the robe, and the green eyes. This is an aspect of her. It's one of the same. And when I kind of looked at that and I kind of integrated all of this, what we're talking about, and there's that incredible, powerful quote that we are the grandchildren of the witches you did not burn, or couldn't burn. And there's this real sense over those last several years of drawing all that kind of wisdom, drawing all that energy together, allowing it to come whole. So, when she said to me, who are you? What are you about? Okay, that was such a powerful question. That was a part of the process of healing those ancestral wounds, because it gets diluted or fragmented. What trauma they go through creates a ripple through time and space. At some level, we kind of incarnate with some of that through our bloodline. We incarnate with some of that kind of loss or trauma. I know that they were persecuted. I know on my dad's line, I've always had a yearning to get to the land, to get into the land. That's those ancestral echoes that are flowing through you. So here's a practical insight, and we're going to follow this up in a couple weeks time with another video on a Friday, where we can just take it a little bit deeper and a little bit further. But here's the thing: take some time, gently close your eyes, ask yourself, who are you? What are you about? And maybe gently reach out and ask, is there anyone there, like this wonderful, wonderful image that sits over on my shoulder, that's standing behind me and beside me? And that is an actual metaphor for life. She stands behind me and beside me. Is there anyone there that can help you, guide you, show you who are you and where you've come from? Explore that. I hope that stirred up some thought, some inspiration. In a couple of Fridays' time, we'll look at the deeper healing aspect of a healing our ancestral wisdom, knowledge, and even wounds. Keep shining, guys. Love to hear your comments, love to hear your thoughts, love to hear your questions. Take care, keep shining.